So guys, we're back. Let me just make sure this is recording all the way. It is indeed. So I've been getting lots of questions. It came to the time where people always want to know, PJ, do you track your macros? Do you track your calories? What is like a do you do type of physique that you have now? Now I'm going to show you how to never track your macros again. And I truly believe this is the key to the mental and physical freedom, in my opinion. So I want you guys to understand. Back in the day, before our time, we had our ancestors, we had ancient warriors. I want you guys to understand they never knew what macros were. It just didn't make sense for them to know what macros were. So I want you guys to think about this. All they had to eat was real food. They had to kill animals to get their protein in. They had to grow things to get the carbs in. So do you think they understand what carbs are? Or macro acid carbs? Do you think what they know? Do you think they understand what macros are? They never did, but they were always fit. They always looked the best. They went to war all the time. Guys, I'm gonna break you down and see how I can make it make sense to you. High performance fuel. So for these individuals, instead of overthinking their food, they use it as purely as fuel to drive their workouts and their daily movements. Their diet was very simple. It was real, whole foods. They avoided processed junk and stuck to the nutrient dense options. And of course, as technology has advanced more over the years, we've made eating more complex than it needs to be. But the truth is, keeping things very simple works. So, regarding to these high performing warriors, they filled up on clean proteins such as beef, lamb, chicken, eggs. They consume healthy fats from sources such as avocados, olive oil, butter, milk, and got most of their carbs from fruits and of course fresh baked goods or fresh baked bread, not from protein powders, not from bars, oatmeal, candy. And by switching to whole foods, which is real foods, you'll notice so many powerful changes about yourself. You'll feel more satisfied and you'll naturally start to eat less little by little. And of course, your digestive and your gut health will improve extremely. And of course, most importantly, you will start to see your body transform. So, guys, you have to really pay attention to that. Whole foods has always been the answer. We just grown up in a time where it's so much processed foods and it's so fast to make, and we don't have to take the time out. We just decide not to do it. So there's two sides of the world. It's two sides of the world. We have an individual, Kimbo Slice here. He's fit, but you can tell he doesn't probably eat the best. Then we have my brother over here. He's not as big as Kimbo Slice, but he's lean. He looks more healthier, and they both work out. So I'm gonna show you guys. It's like the best of both worlds. I want you guys to imagine this. We take the best of both worlds, and we have someone who's dedicated to the gym, focused on getting stronger weekly, and they're heavily dedicated to eating as clean as possible. And I truly believe this is where the history begins, or where history happens, because this is where you start to get extravagant, beautiful physique, and you automatically catch people's attention. They give you compliments from all the people around you. You get compliments, and that's the focus. So now we have to understand how important it is for our food to put our food as a fuel source. So now one thing we're going to do now is we're going to dive deep into it and show how we can approach eating to make it very simple to see the results without even tracking a damn thing. The right diet will act as a rocket fuel for your desired physique, your future physique, etc. So there's 5 steps regarding to never tracking macros. So you have the 90-10 approach and you have the 80-20 approach. Then of course you have prioritizing your protein intake. Then of course number 3 is weighing yourself daily. Number 4, hydration plus fasting. And 5 is daily movement. These are the 5 steps in never tracking macros again. So of course we have to understand our macros. So of course, as we can see that each macro has a different amount of calories per gram, as you can see. So 1 gram of protein is 4 calories, 1 gram of carbs is 4 calories, and 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. And it's crazy because fat contains more than twice the calorie per gram compared to protein and carbs. It's often been labeled as quote unquote unhealthy. This has led to the popularity of fat-free foods, which simply reduces overall calorie content. However, fat isn't necessarily like a bad thing, especially when it comes from like a nutrient source such as eggs, avocados, cheese, butter, and olive oil. But in fact, fat plays like a vital role supporting our body functioning. Of course, it maintains hormonal balances, and we have to understand like literally this is how I started to approach my 90-10 or 80-20 rule. I never really tracked calories, but I tracked what it's like it did eat Monday through Friday. And I want you guys to understand is that we eat the worst on the weekends. We're off work, we want to decompress, we want to live life, we want to go have fun. And that's where we eat the worst. Like generally we eat the worst on the weekends. But what I did for myself is Monday through Friday I'll eat as clean as possible. Then that 10%, that 20%, I'll eat whatever I want because I wanted to keep a balanced structure, not be overwhelmed, and have some type of mental freedom of regarding to like, damn, I can live while I'm still doing the right thing at the exact same time. Okay, guys. So, guys, I want you to understand that. Pay attention to this graph, and what I'm about to break down to you next is gonna make so much sense. Of course, this is like a calories on condiments. It's 2 tablespoons for 140 calories regarding the ranch. You have 1 tablespoon which is 10 calories regarding the soy sauce. It's really just breaks down the simple factors regarding to, your daily average human using condiments on a daily basis. So here's a 90-10 approach. So pretty much the 90-10 approach is you're eliminating as much processed foods as possible from your diet, just in general. And one thing I think we need to go back to is like all of us went to school. In order for you to graduate or go to the next grade, you had to have a good grade, right? So I think one thing we should start doing as humans is we need to start grading your diet as if you can grade in, get in a grade in school. If you take an 80-20, which just means 80% of your food is being whole foods and 20% is whatever you want, you may end up with like a B minus physique. You pass, that's above average for sure. Then of course you gotta think about is this though. In fact, you're 1% away from earning a C. AKA, in my opinion, it's really low average physique. Only reason why I say that is because it's better than most, but it doesn't stand out. I truly believe everyone needs a body or wants a body that stands out. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care how much money you do make. I don't care what your body looks like now. You want a body that stands out. You want to look better than your favorite fitness influencer. You want to look better than the Kim K's and Kardashians and all these models with BBLs and OnlyFans and all that. You want to look better than them. But you think about it, regardless of the Kardashian and people at OnlyFans, they naturally attract people. They stand out. It's crazy. And it's, of course, it's not natural, but just imagine if you wanted to start, acing on your diet and you want to take the 90-10 or even better yet, the 95 approach. That's when you begin to see real change. And that's when you start getting comments from people. That's when you inspire people because they look at you. They're gonna look at you knowing that you're running your race, and you may inspire them to start running their race because they started walking again. So you may inspire them to start running again. So that's when the real change will start. And it's not hard to overeat steak, eggs, and fruit because it's very fulfilling. You know what I'm saying? It's very purposeful when you eat it. So when you have your chips and candy, the essentials from that is like a bottomless stomach. Processed foods are designed to be extremely addictive or have a minimum micronutrients. Think about it, bro. I can legit go through a whole bag of candy and still not feel full. I can go through a whole bag of candy and go through another bag of candy because I'm not really paying attention to it because I'm not really anywhere attention because I'm just doing it to do it because it's very addictive. So with that being said, first and easiest way to worry less about macros is to place an emphasis on the amount of real food you do eat on the daily basis. Second, of course, prioritize your protein. The main priority has to be protein every single day. Literally, it aids in muscle growth and recovery as being very satiating, right? Fulfilling. When in doubt, have more protein. Pair your protein with healthy fats and carbs too, but the priority is overall, obviously, protein. Eat similar foods every single day. This is what I tell people. People try to do so much. They do too much. Eat similar foods every single day. Find your staples. Find food that you genuinely enjoy and look forward to eating that also aid in helping you hit your goals. Get you a yogurt bowl, a dog bowl, steak, fruit, eggs, honey. That's all I eat, literally. And if you're having trouble, hitting your protein intakes, you should like snack on protein. You have beef jerky, you have protein Greek yogurt, you have hard boiled eggs. There's always an option for you to do better. Just do it. And literally, this is the tricky part. This is number three. Weigh yourself daily. I was always told, you want to weigh yourself on the weekly or the monthly basis. But I want you guys to understand this. So much happens in a week. So much happens in a month. So you can't really correctly identify or isolate variables to see what's caused you to change in weight. You just can't. So what I'm learning is when you weigh yourself every morning after you wake up and use the bathroom before you eat or drink anything, that's when you see a difference. That's when you see progress. So your hypothesis is in your weight. Your hypothesis is your weight will increase, decrease, or simply just stay the same. So impair this with taking pictures every single week. So one thing I struggle with, and I know with my clients, I really understood this that I just tell them to take a picture. You know what I'm saying? Every week. But I'm one thing I'm realizing about myself is I always take a pump pic every single day, even my legs. And I used to bother me because like, am I getting bigger? Am I getting stronger? But I had to understand that if you just take a picture a week, you will see a difference, some way, somehow. Okay, and your weight isn't a representative of anything changing. Get you a scale test plus eye test. I said yes, eye test, and get you a scale. So regarding to the scale is a hum scale. It's these like your weight, your body fat, your body water intake, your BMI, etc. It shows what's under the hood that we can just cannot see because a lot of things that we can't see. That's what's on inside the body, obviously. So that skill will help you balance everything out. Hydration plus fasting. So regarding to this, it's more of cutting and maintenance. And of course, I am a power lifter. So regarding this, it works in my favor. Of course, so I have to get up a little bit early in the morning before I work out in order to really just follow this rule. But I want to tell you guys this: the first thing you should ever do in the morning time, regardless of whatever your goals are, is to hydrate. I don't care. Get you 24 to 32 ounces of spring, reverse, ominous filtered water with electrolytes added. Of course, you can use a Bajos Gold Salt or Santana Cruz Palo Salt. One thing you could do as well is get you some pink Himalayan salt, put honey in it, put a couple, one or two, 3 tablespoons of lemon juice in there, shake it up, and that will be your electrolytes for the morning time. And if you're hungry in the morning, you'll notice if the more hydrated you are, the less likely you will have any type of hunger sensations. So I realized that for myself for the past month or so, past couple of weeks, that the more hydrated I am, the less hungry I am in the morning. Okay. One thing you could do is you use caffeine to extend your fast to improve your focus, such as black coffee, espresso, tea, and try to eliminate liquid calories as much as possible. You know what I'm saying? So really pay attention to that. And fasting really shortens your eating window. So it allows you to eat bigger meals while you still stay in your calorie deficit. So pretty much rather than having 3 meals each 800 calories, it breaks your fast with smaller meals such as from 300 to 500 calories. Then your second meal could be 1600 calories. And you still have room for a snack after dinner, such as, a protein, yogurt bowl, fruit, or some dark chocolate. Of course, number four, daily movement. And I truly believe it's really insane. If people think in general, whatever goal they may have, if you don't have an active lifestyle, you will never get the physique you want in just in general. So you want to move your body on a daily basis, man. Do you get you 10,000 steps in a day, 100 push-ups, 30 minutes of cardio, lifting, sporting, taking the stairs versus the elevator, parking far away, walking instead of driving? Those are some options for you guys to have just so you can just get your movement on a consistent basis. And movement burns calories, temporarily suppresses your appetite. So if you're hungry, go on a walk or go work out. Your blood moves away from your stomach and it reduces your appetite. It creates a small eating window. The more calories you burn, the more leeway you may have in slightly going over your calories. Is that a typo? Oh man, that's crazy. If you burn an extra 1,000 calories a day, it is hard to eat an additional 1,000 calories if you're eating real food. It makes it easier to be more in a calorie deficit. So pretty much what it's saying is you can eat 1,000 calories at McDonald's and you still won't, you won't feel full. It's crazy, but it's true because it's not real food. It's processed. So if you eat real food throughout the whole day, there's no reason why you should struggle. It makes it easier for you to be in a calorie deficit. Of course, obviously, when you're calorie deficit, that means you're cutting, leaning, shredding down, etc. Okay, so if you burn 300 calories, it's extremely easier for you to eat an extra 300 calories. So regarding to traveling and eating out, so one thing for myself is I always catch myself when I'm traveling, when I'm about to take a flight, where I'm going somewhere, I'm never hungry. It's like my body's already naturally does this, but when I'm traveling, I fast. I don't know. I automatically just fast. All I really do is drink water. I don't really snack on anything, but sticking to water and coffee, and break your fast with a fruit or a light meal is probably one of the best things you can ever do. Because I know for a fact I don't eat when I travel. It's odd. Of course, you want to fill up on protein first for each meal. So of course the basics, such as steak, chicken, salmon, burgers. Order double of protein if needed. I would recommend it. Stay away from appetizers and starters such as chips and salsa, bread and butter. And for your sides, when you're out, you want to get you some grilled veggies, get you a salad, get you a baked potato or sweet potato. And when you're on vacation, take more of a like a 70-30. What I'm saying, to enjoy yourself and the fruits of your labor. But if you will probably find more, fun, you enjoy more, you go 85-15 more, because you'll feel much better. But one thing I'll tell you is you will understand how healthy you are eating when you eat like crap again. And it's probably one of the worst feelings ever. I just went on a cruise, and of course, the cruise has a lot of options for food. And I can understand when I was eating those burgers on a consistent basis, I understood how my body felt. I felt more huskier. I felt bloated. I felt bigger than I normally did. And it was not it for sure. So definitely don't want to do that. And last but not least, what are you snacking on, late night hunger. So knowing you're most likely going to be hungry later on in the evening, especially if you're going to save some calories, even if you're trying to save some calories for then. The best thing is probably frozen fruit is probably one of the best snacks in general, because it's low in calories, high in volume, and when it's frozen, you are forced to eat it slower. So where your mind goes, how much it think you ate with treats, not how much you actually ate. So one thing is you gotta understand, man. You have to understand like one bite of a Reese's versus more 4 bites is more dopamine. It's just like I can eat two pieces of pizza so fast, and I could be full. But if I really, or not be full, but if I eat it more fast, I'm more likely to eat more food. But if I eat at a slower pace, where the case may be, it's more likely for you to be more full and you don't have to eat more food. But the best thing you can do is go on a walk, chew on some gum, brush your teeth, and most likely when you're hungry, you're probably just bored, bro. You're just bored. And the last two most important things are is awareness and attention. So the more you're aware of these rules that I just broke down in this PowerPoint, the better intention you're gonna have regarding to accomplishing your goals. Because lots of people aren't aware of certain stuff, so that's why they don't do it. If you're not educated on something, you're not gonna mess with it at all. But the more I educated myself regarding to cutting, shredding, even bulking, I had the level of intention, the right mind to really do exactly these things that I legit just taught y'all. Then I applied it, then I got the results I want. So guys, be more aware, be more intentional. Um, and everyone that's watches regarding for you being the Destruct Society school chat. I hope this is a good one. I hope this brought you value, especially on YouTube. Share, like, comment, subscribe, whatever you may want to do. I hope whatever it did, it brought you value. But other than that, I'm glad to provide this information for y'all. Just go ahead and apply it, and I guarantee you, you will get the results you want. Let's get it.